This really bothers me. As a First Amendment absolutist, as a total believer in the First Amendment and boobs, Minnesota school district. A Minnesota school district has made the decision to ban Huckleberry Finn and To Kill a Mockingbird. And I'm reading from this article in Minnesota. The novels To Kill a Mockingbird and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn will no longer be required reading due to the book's use of a racial slur, because the local NAACP in Minnesota had complained because on Huckleberry Finn and in To Kill a Mockingbird they use a racial slur. Now, here is where I always argue. Context matters. Is the use of the racial slur in these works designed to divide the races and demonstrate that the one race is inferior to another, which is how a racial slur is intended to be used when it is a racial slur? Or is it used to reference the point in time in which the books were made and to make a historic point about how racism was a huge stain on our country? It is the latter. This is the problem with America today. We have lost all ability to use context to make intelligent decisions, which is, by the way, the value of To Kill a Mockingbird and Huckleberry Finn. They are incredible works of literature which are steeped in nuance in a time and place in our country when all we focus on is moral absolutism. Something is either the best or the worst. Life dwells in nuance, not in black, not in white, in gray, where all of us live our lives. That is where literature dwells. That is where the ennobling aspects of the written word can expand our minds and make our consciousness move to a higher level. This upsets me to no end because the people who most need this are young kids whose minds are still developing, and the idiot adults are trying to keep these fragile brains from ever experiencing anything close to a triggering event which might cause them to think about things in their world in a different manner. The district's intent is to be considerate of all of its students. The district owes it to the students to not subject them to a racial slur that marginalizes them in their required learning. This is the head of the NAACP. He added, district leaders felt there are many other options in literature that can teach the same lessons as the two novels without containing a racial slur. This is tantamount to book burning. And by the way, this guy is an idiot. The reason Huckleberry Finn and To Kill a Mockingbird are classics is because of their timeless connection to youth and adults of all generations. We felt we could still teach the same standards and expectations through other novels that didn't require students to feel humiliated or marginalized by the use of racial slurs. The people who were humiliated and marginalized by the use of racial slurs in To Kill a Mockingbird and Huckleberry Finn are the people who most need to read these books, because they're the people who are most unaware of the importance of context in the way that things are used. There wasn't even a specific complaint that triggered the decision. It was a response to complaints about the book's use of a racial slur the district has faced for years. The president of the NAACP applauded the school district's decision and said the novels are, quote, just hurtful and use hurtful language that has oppressed the people for over 200 years. This blows my mind. This guy in charge of the NAACP is not even intelligent enough to understand that one of the reasons why our culture has changed is because of books like Huckleberry Finn and because of books like To Kill a Mockingbird. They illuminate our minds to the illogic in judging someone based on the color of their skin. They actually exist to make the exact point that he is not understanding. He is an idiot. It's the truth. Let's move forward and work together to make school work for all of our kids, not just some, all of them. He also said, it's wrong. There are a lot more authors out there with better literature that can do the same thing that does not degrade our people. I'm glad they're making the decision. It's long overdue, like 20 years overdue. This guy is driving me insane. He's what's wrong with America today. It fits really well into the equity work that we're doing, making sure we're using this drives me insane too. When curriculum materials make some students feel uncomfortable, then we need to make a better choice. That's totally wrong. Education should make you uncomfortable sometimes. Because if you are not uncomfortable, then you are never challenging your beliefs. Every day I wake up and wonder if I'm right about things. And every day my mind is open and malleable to the fact that I might be wrong on certain issues. If you don't challenge your mind and make yourself uncomfortable, then you hide inside of a prison of your own obsolescence. You are creating an echo chamber and never experiencing the fullness of the world. I hope you'll share this clip video that eventually we make out of this. But this, honestly, really, really, seriously bothers me. I loved both those books. Huckleberry Finn, Mark Twain is an idol of mine. And Harper Lee, I think, wrote maybe the greatest book of the 20th century when you compare and contrast and distill its overall impact on society. The overall impact on society, which has somehow led to it now being a banned book because it makes some people uncomfortable. Literature, especially good literature, should make you uncomfortable. It should make the hair on your arms stand up. It should sometimes fill you with outrage. It should certainly set your mind afire, and you should never, ever only experience things that make you comfortable in life, because that is how you end up a failure as an adult. I hope you will share this show. My name is Clay Travis. This has been Outkick the Coverage. Remember, the only thing you can rely on in this country, the First Amendment and boobs, and the only thing you should do, make sure that you're not a pussy. DBAT, boys and girls,